Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree?
Hello, this is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie gangster. And finally, this season came to a shocking end, and we Fromily have to wait till the 4th season release, which maybe happens on 2026. I'm still insisting on my own karmic readings as the best solution to find further clues and answers. But in this exclusive review, I'm going to talk about a very important fact which we were entangled from the beginning episodes of series in season 1, which I believe as the most important fact in the story narration, which is guiding us towards the answer for all other further questions. And this is all about those voices who were trying to play games and mind manipulation with Sara, connecting her through her mind, harshly asked her to kill the boy. In this review, I'm going to declare everything on the boy who must be killed. Then like the video and share it to support my channel, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that. Your subscriptions means a lot to me and helps my channel to grow. After subscribing, don't forget to push the notification bell to be informed when I uploaded a new review and breakdown. In season 1, episode 4, when Matthew's family sat in the diner, Sara has a psychic attack, and this time they are harshly trying to write a phrase on her hand by scratching on her forearm. The phrase says, "Kill the boy." And we see Sara rolls her scared eyes towards Ethan, and as she's shivering on herself, faints. Before, we saw Sara kill Toby and opened the clinic door for monsters to come in and cause Kenny's father's death. And now, again, they want Sara to kill a boy, and it seems this boy is Ethan. And after all, Sara's attempt to murder Ethan causes her own beloved brother Nathan to be sacrificed. There were too many second guesses about the boy whom those voices wanted Sara to sacrifice. Some believed it was Victor, the others believed the boy in white. And there were some suspicions around Kevin, the lonely boy at the colony house in season 1 episode 7, who opened the window and let the monsters enter and caused that massacre at Fatima's anniversary party. The order was clear: kill the boy. But who was the boy that they wanted Sara to kill? Here I want to attract your attention to season 3 episode 8. Victor is insisting on Jasper as the one who was talking to Christopher at the church's basement. It was something quite impossible that a dummy doll talks as a human, and other residents knew that this is something completely irrational and the doll can't talk. Even Henry reminded Victor of that matter, but Victor madly rejected his father. He took Jasper and went to Sara to help her make Jasper talk to him. Sara is trying, but Victor is all down into excuses and madly yells at her. After all, Sara takes Tabitha to help them, and as Tabitha is trying to calm Victor down, Victor remembers that it was the boy in white who was talking to Christopher all the time in that basement about those poor children who had been sacrificed by their own family in the dark. And at that moment, he mentions to the tree roots, which has been raised up and tangled as a symbol of their hope for one day when they will be safe. It seemed Victor was fully aware of the symbol which Jade was obsessed with, and all the time, even when Jade played him violin, Victor never declared to him, and he only tried to show that he can't remember of Christopher. And always we could feel this sense of envy and hate Victor had towards Christopher, as we always thought Christopher was the evil one. After all, Victor said the boy in white has asked Christopher to go to the lighthouse to save those children, and Christopher didn't accept to do that. He believed as the boy in white was talking to Christopher and asking him to save these children, has mentioned him, if he does this, all people will be free to leave. But Christopher didn't accept that. And Victor, as hears of this conversation between Christopher and the boy in white, he has headed towards his mother and has told her all about the lighthouse and those children who Christopher didn't accept to save. And by this way, he has caused her own mother's death and he's sad and regretful about that. Here, let's have a quick pause on this scene and let's get back to Sara as the one who those voices or entities were connecting to her ask her to kill and sacrifice people. We saw that those voices asked Sara to kill the boy and told her by her doing this sacrifice all people will be free to go. Later we found from Sara herself those voices warned Sara that if she couldn't kill the boy who thought was Ethan, they will kill her own beloved brother Nathan, and we saw they did that. Also we saw Elgin had the same experience as Sara about Kimono Lady. She was pretending that she was an angel and wanted to help if Elgin saves her. And after a while, we saw how Elgin turned into a dark manipulated agent for that Kimono Lady or Kimono entity to serve her orders to lock Fatima in that root cellar until she gives birth to that smiley monster child, and at the end, as the baby was born, there was no freedom for people and everything Kimono Lady said was an absolute lie. We saw Sara went to Elgin pretending that she doesn't want boy to be dirty-handed. She took the screwdriver in a half-trance mood and pulled Elgin's left eye out, and by that way she could find where Elgin locked Fatima at. We all knew about Sara and her dark experiences and her early collaborations with those dark unknown forces and entities at Fromland. As we see, Victor believes she is the most scary and dangerous person in the town. And I bet Victor is right. From the beginning season and from the pilot episode, we see that those voices already have talked to Sara about those two cars' arrival to the town at the same time. And she knew everything about the car crash before it happens. And also we saw her was the one who sacrificed Toby as he arrived to the Fromland, even before he could meet up again with his best friend Jade. Of course, the main sacrifice is Toby, who is Jade's best friend. She only lets the door to be open when she leaves the clinic to let monsters enter and kill the others at the clinic, only to cover her own crime up, and by this way no one could find she was the one who sacrificed Toby at the clinic. We also saw her with Boyd at the forest when she saw the boy in white talking to her, and we saw she could hear the boy in white in her mind as we saw his lips were synced. The boy in white asks Sara to take Boyd to the tree, and at that point we see Sara put something in his pocket and sends him first inside the tree. And Boyd ends up into that tight chimney pipe and then meets Martin, and here is the exact point where troubles began. Martin scratches Boyd's arm and recites those worms into his blood and sends darkness and evil back to the town. Again we see Sara at the ruinings can hear the entity mocking Boyd and tells her about the music box. Sara is delivering those entities' messages to Boyd. And in season 3 we see those voices again talk to Sara and talk to her about Fatima. And she delivers the message to Boyd and Ellis, but she never explains the whole story, and at the end, we see her comes to Elgin pretending to help and curves Elgin's left eye out. We only hear Elgin screams and we never hear him saying anything. But as the others open the door, we see Sara all bloody and has the screwdriver in one hand and tells them Fatima is at the root cellar. I believe that Sara is lying and she knew everything from the beginning. and just wanted to be the one who finishes the job. It seems both Elgin and Sara are leading by the same group, and Kimono Lady is one of those entities who Sara could talk to, and this entity has nothing to do but deceit to make people betray the humanity and show dishonesty. By the way, Sara was a part of this dark mission. As we all knew, Sara could see the boy in white as well. And from this point, I'm going to go back to Season 3, Episode 8, where Victor remembers of the boy in white as the one who was talking to Christopher, asking him to save children at the lighthouse. We see as the boy in white finishes his words, Christopher shouts on him, angrily telling him no. Based on all Victor's secrecy as he tells her memories to others, and as we saw him hiding his sister in the back trunk of a wrecked car for all those years, here and in this very scene, I believe that Victor hears all the story the boy in white tells to Christopher about those children who has been sacrificed by their own parents, who need to be saved from the lighthouse. And I bet Christopher asked the boy in white about how to saving those children, and here this is the boy in white tells him to kill the boy. And this boy is no one but Victor. And as Christopher hears that he has to kill Victor in order to save those children, says a big no to the boy in white. Because if Christopher is Jade, it's impossible that he accepts to kill and sacrifice an innocent child to save those children. And as Victor hears that Christopher must kill him to save those children and free all people in Fromland, he scares and acts foolish, goes back to his mother and tells her his own version of the story, and tries to convince his mom to go to the bottle tree and then to the lighthouse to save those children herself before Christopher decides to kill him to save those children at the lighthouse. And we see his mother took him and Eloise and asks Victor to look after his sister Eloise until she gets back. And as their mother leaves to the lighthouse, Eloise goes after her mother, and we see Victor never tries to stop her sister or goes to look after her, and prefers to stay all night into that root cellar, and by this way causes not only her mother's death but Eloise and the other people being sacrificed in that town. There is a question, why the boy? Why the boy should be killed? Why they should kill the boy to break the curse? Based on everything we saw during Season 3 finale, Jade and Tabitha was ancient souls and couple who was arrived to this cursed Fromland over and over again to save their child who they sacrificed before. And here, if we discuss on Tabitha and Jade as soul couples who have an unfinished business and come to this Fromland to save their child and break the curse, then Jin will be only a soul tie, a karmic soul tie, and by this way Ethan and Julie are the results of this soul tie. And as Ethan is Jim's son and will be the one who keeps this soul tie alive among their destiny, they need to cut this soul tie and remove it in order to save those children. And here, as Jim must be removed as the main soul tie, we can claim that the boy those voices wanted to be killed from Sara in Season 1 was Ethan in fact. Tabitha and Jade are Miranda and Christopher, and the boy in white was asking Christopher to kill Victor to save those children and their child in order to break the curse and free people. But Christopher doesn't accept to do that. How he could kill an innocent child to save another? Victor hates Christopher only because he has overheard the true story and knows well he's the one who has to be killed. At that horrific night, he prefers to stay at that root cellar all alone, and even never goes looking after her sister only to save his own dear life, and by this way he sacrifices her own mother and sister for nothing. Now, as Matthew's family and Jade both arrived at the same time to the Fromland, and as they have a son exactly at the same age he arrived to the Fromland, now this boy who must be killed is Ethan, of course. And there is no more threats for Victor. We hear from Victor that all these years the boy in white has been the only friend he had, and it's not odd if we see Victor has been safe and saved through all these years. When there was no more Christopher and Miranda alive in Fromland, all these years he has had to wait for the next generation and reincarnation to arrive to the town again. And in the pilot episode, when Julie is sitting in the kitchen at the colony house, scared, and meets Victor for the first time, as Victor mentions on arriving 2 cars at the same time to the town as a rare event and smiles, it seems he knows of something. Maybe them and Christopher also was arrived to the town at the same time in a car crash. Who knows what Victor knows really? And after all, Victor is safe now, and this curse is on Ethan now. When Tabitha and Jade have entered to the town at the same time, and Ethan is Jim's son, the boy who must be killed now is Ethan. Poor Jim, this kind father was only a soul tie who must be removed. In my next review, I'm going to talk about Jim and how he became a sacrifice of this rigged game. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie gangster. Please press the like button if you liked my video and share it with your friends too. And please subscribe to my channel to support me in my channel and push the notification bell to be informed of all of my further reviews and breakdowns as I uploaded them. For now, love and light in peace.